Hey everybody, welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday in the Social Rescue Group. So you may be watching this in our Social Rescue Group, or you may be catching this on YouTube if you subscribe to our YouTube links. But we are so excited. We have our very own certified health coach, Emily, with us tonight. So everybody say hi to Emily, and she is going to be talking tonight all about hydration, okay? Because hydration isn't just important in terms of what we put on our face to hydrate our skin. Hydration is also important from the inside out, hydrating our body. It's responsible for a lot of different things that are super important. So Emily is going to share about that tonight. But before she begins to share, I just want to encourage you that if you have one of your favorite Mary Kate masks or hydrators, like the gel renewal mask, or even if you want a charcoal mask that doesn't hydrate, but it's relaxing, or maybe you have our new 2-step hydrating gel mask, grab one of those and throw that on while you listen to Emily educate us all about hydration. All right. So welcome, Emily. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back again, especially talking about this topic. And it worked out perfect because you had done a presentation earlier in the month about hydration and importance and different products that you can do. So like you said, now we get to learn some more information doing it kind of that inside out, which is super important that we're covering kind of both areas. So I'm happy to be here, and hello, everybody.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to take my face away and it's going to be you. And then you just give me like a thumbs up when you need me to pop up that presentation.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we are going to be, I named it Hydration 101. So we're going to be focusing kind of on water and the importance of what it does for our body and a lot of other fun information. So I am going to take my face off the screen and then we will bring up the PowerPoint. Okay, you can go ahead and bring it up. New slideshow. Okay. All right. So that should be up. Let me just check something. Yep, it looks like everything's going through okay. All right. I just get worried sometimes it's not going to go through, but all right. Here we go. So again, water we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about the benefits of water and different things it does for our body and fun ways to intake more water. So this is a session that's in a series, but it can be held alone, all these different information. But I do like this slide because even though we haven't been on this for a few months, we had talked about some goal setting and other things. So if you want to, in the comments, share about some sort of high that you've had, something positive, something exciting that in regards to your health that maybe we talked about last time, or a change that you've made, or anything that's really happened in the last few months, as well as any sort of challenge that you've faced as well since the last time that we were able to do the Wellbeing Wednesday. You can feel free to comment. So the overview is, why is water important? Ways to water your body, how much water to drink, soda and other beverages that have more sugar. And we're also going to incorporate some movement. So ways to increase your flexibility, because water complements different parts of your body to help with movement. All right, so we'll get started. Why is water important? Water is an essential nutrient. Without water, our body would not be able to function. So just like cars need oil or plants need water, our bodies need water. And there's water in every cell of the body. And overall, our bodies are 50 to 70% water, which water makes up 83% of blood, 82% of the kidneys, and 72% of skin. So which you can see that our water intake is a huge part of what hydrates our skin. So that's really an important addition into like any products that you're putting on top of your skin. And what's important is that we're replacing and replenishing the water that's in our body every single day. So it's such an important step in our routines to make sure that we are drinking it. So what does water do? It prevents hydration. Dehydration occurs when the body loses more fluid than it takes in, and it doesn't have enough water or fluid to function normally. This can be really dangerous for young children as well as older adults. But even if you don't fit into those two categories, water is still super important that you are staying hydrated to prevent that dehydration. It can be caused by not drinking enough fluids, some certain illnesses, or there are medications like diuretics that can increase your dehydration. Can also occur more often if you live in a hot or dry climate or if you sweat more frequently. So whether that's if you're outside and exercising or moving, or just maybe you perspire more. So it's really important that you're replenishing if you're losing the fluids. All right. So and part of this too is recognizing the symptoms of dehydration. So some of these will vary. These are just some typical ones: dry mouth and tongue, having extreme thirst. In infants, that would be no tears when crying or no wet diapers. Less frequent urination or having very dark urine. Listlessness or irritability. Fatigue, dizziness, confusion. And so how do we prevent this? An important part is you should be drinking water just throughout the day. You want to be doing it before you actually feel thirsty, and monitoring what color of your urine, because that is a really strong indicator of how much your body is taking in those fluids. So another important thing is that it does prevent constipation. So high fiber foods plus water are really important. And if you are having high fiber foods but without water, then that's when it can lead you to have that sort of side effect. So different high fiber foods, oftentimes that's going to be your fruits, your vegetables. There could be like in bread and wheat is high in fiber. So just making sure that you're definitely pairing your water as you're eating throughout the day. All right. Water also cleans the body. So what does that mean? Our kidneys need water to eliminate toxins and waste. So drinking the water will help the kidneys actually to do their job, to function as they need to help cleanse and all that. The water does a lot of other really great things, as you can see. It helps us regulate body temperature. It provides joints and passageways with lubrication. It helps to moisten food through the saliva as we're eating so that it breaks down the food and our body can digest it properly. Okay, so it's important then to understand, okay, what are our kidneys? Like, what does that do? So water helps with that. So this will break it down a little bit more. So there are two kidneys which help keep us alive by filtering and returning 200 quarts of fluid to the bloodstream every 24 hours. About 2 quarts are removed from the body through breathing, sweating, urinating, and bowel movements, and about 198 quarts are recovered. Urine is stored in the bladder for anywhere from 1 to 8 hours before it is excreted. So as you can see, just simple things that we do, even if we're not exercising vigorously, we're not out in the sun, just natural things that water is being processed through our body just by simply being. So it's so important that we're replenishing it. So kidneys, also another really important part is that they're removing toxins and waste products from the body. The primary job, that is their primary job. And especially if you're taking medication, that helps to process through the medications and help remove excess fluid that's in the body. They balance the body's fluids, which regulates our salt, potassium, and acid content. And the kidneys produce the most important hormones that affect other organs, stimulate red blood cell production, help regulate blood pressure, and control calcium metabolism. The kidneys produce an active form of vitamin D, which helps promote strong, healthy bones. So as we can see, the kidneys are a super, super important organ in our body, and water really helps them to function at their best. So we talked about moving. So water helps keep our muscles moving. Muscles are 70 to 75% water. And if the body's dehydrated, the muscles are not going to work properly. And that's when you can experience sometimes more cramping. When muscles get tired, we can't run as fast, can't jump as high, and the cramping occurs. Being hydrated directly affects physical performance and endurance. So water is very, very good for the brain. So we'll learn a little bit more about why that is. So the brain is also composed of 70 to 75% water. Does not work well when it's dehydrated. So your body is not able to think and process and send out messages to other parts of the body as effectively if it's not hydrated properly. Not having enough water can impair our mood, concentration, increase frequency of headaches. It can impair our cognitive function and mental performance. And it can also cause a variation in mental performance. So in order for our body, our brain, everything that's all connected, water is really helping to make sure that we're functioning at the best that it can. And especially as we are heading into the fall and sick season, and if you have kids at home or around kids, we will be coming into that season, and water is what we can consider a good cough syrup. So why is that? So when you have a cold or a fever, it helps keep breathing passages from drying out and to make sure that you aren't getting mucus stuck so it's able to drain out. It helps cure a dry cough, and it loosens secretions in the lungs that can cause a deep chest cough. Drinking lots of fluids also makes up for the water lost through sweat, which is one of the ways that our bodies try to keep cool and to fight a fever. So when you're sick, water is helping to work through all those symptoms as your body's trying to fight that. So another benefit of water is that it can curb overeating. So water can boost your metabolism. So just a little tip is you can drink a glass of water about 30 minutes before a meal to curb the appetite. That will help create a sense of fullness. If you're looking for kind of like that portion management side of things, I know for me personally, I love the taste of food. So sometimes I will try to just like make sure I'm consistently drinking water either throughout the day or within the hour or 30 minutes before a meal, because then I will feel that satiation and I will feel more full and able, so I'm not overeating just for flavor. Okay. So we talked about before, a really good tip was not waiting until you're thirsty to replace those fluids, to just be drinking water consistently throughout the day. So now we know why water is important. How do we incorporate water like into our daily routine? So that's what this will go through next. So ways to water our bodies. So this presentation also incorporates with like families. So if you do have children or you're around kids, a really important way for your kids to be drinking more, the kids that you maybe work with, is to model it. So they really do absorb things and take things in by what they see. And that's a big part of learning. So just showing them that you're drinking it and offering it, that's a great way to get kids to take it in more. Bottle it. So another fun way is to get a fun water bottle, anything maybe that you like, or there's even water bottles that you can add like fruit into it. There's little strainers. So just find something that you like and keep them somewhere that you can grab them. Whether it's, sometimes I'll put bottles of water in every room just so I have no excuse. I can just go pick it up. Or just have something that is refillable so that I can constantly putting more water into it each day. This is my favorite, flavor it. I know I get sick of just plain water, so I try to add like fresh fruit. I know some people like cucumbers in their water. Really, it's whatever your flavor preference is that will encourage you to want to drink it more. So another way to water your body would be to advertise it. So this is just kind of going into more with children, that says to use ads for soft drinks, sports drinks, and juice drinks as an opportunity to educate your kids or yourself on how water helps kids grow stronger and run faster, as well as for our bodies to function appropriately. So that's just another little tip. This is another great one, to food it. So food your water. So there is naturally water. So like fruits and vegetables, those naturally have water in it. So if you're eating that throughout the day, in addition to the water that you're drinking, that's a great way to make sure that you're getting enough fluids in your system. Smoothies are another great thing that you can add water to. I know some people like yogurt, or they'll put like oat milk or other dairy alternatives in their smoothie, but you can always add a little bit of water with that, or you can just only do the water just to get some of that extra fluid in there. Adding soup is another great way, because a big base of soup is water, as well as, and we talked about different vegetables. And sip it. This actually is such a simple one, but it's a great one, because sometimes we'll drink more if we'll get it through a straw, and you are more likely to swallow each time you drink from a straw compared to when you sip directly from a bottle. So drinking water from a straw, it makes it more accessible. It makes it more convenient. You'll be more likely to sip on your water, and especially if you have it close by while you're working or you are somewhere out and about. So how much water should we drink? So the general recommendation is for children that you're drinking 1 ounce per pound of body weight. So for example, if a child is 40 pounds, you would drink 40 ounces. So it'd be about 5 8-ounce glasses a day. For adults, it's half an ounce per pound of body weight. So it gives some examples here. So if you're 130 pounds, that would be 65 ounces. So about 8 8-ounce glasses a day. If you're 180 pounds, then you would cut that in half, 90 ounces of water. So that would be 11 8-ounce glasses a day. Men typically do need more water than women because of their size. So you can kind of look at your weight and adjust it to that. But this is a general recommendation. This goes through, I'm not going to really go through this slide, but I'll just kind of keep it up. This shows with the color what to look at, just so you kind of know if you are starting to get into being on overhydrated, which actually is a thing, as well as if you are getting dehydrated. It's just to kind of use that visible sign. There's also something called a pinch test that will help you if you are feeling dehydrated or you're not sure. So that would be, you would lightly pinch some of the skin on the back of your hand and pull it up 1 centimeter. If the skin springs back to normal, the body is hydrated. But if it takes a few seconds to settle down, then the body does need more water. So those are just like good little tips how to kind of measure your hydration throughout the day if you're kind of unsure if you are hydrated enough. So this will go into soda and sugary beverages. So soda is high in calories. It doesn't really provide any nutrients. Studies show that soda, people who drink more soda may lead to more to a higher weight, to excess weight. Studies also show that soda has been shown to cause low bone mineral density, which means bones are at greater risk for breaking. So it's one of those things that, like, I don't believe in ever saying you should or should not do something. I think, you know, we have things we like to treat ourselves to, or things that are just a part of our routine that maybe we're looking to reduce, or just kind of maybe you want to stop, you know, so you just kind of accommodate that to where you're at, meet yourself where you are, and then go from there. Okay, so we talked about, we discussed a little bit the importance of drinking water during illness. So this is going to compare the water versus, I'm going to bring up all this, water versus soda. So that that soda has caffeine in it. Most of the time, most sodas have caffeine in it, which causes the body to lose water. And then the sugar can have some different side effects, and it will also take the water out of your system because caffeine is a diuretic, and it can also upset the stomach. Whereas if you look at water for fevers and colds on the left side, it's great for that dry cough, keeping the breathing passages opened. So this just kind of helps to show, kind of like to compare and contrast the two. So there are also different liquid and powder water enhancers. Let me bring up all these different informations. So these things were created as a way to promote and improve the taste of water. Because again, water can be really boring. I totally get that. There's so many different brands. They have different additives, which are not good for our body. They're not natural to our body, so our body doesn't always know how to process them. Like artificial sweeteners, dyes, and flavors. Sometimes there's added caffeine, citric acid. Now they will sometimes add in different vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. So if you're using these, it's just important, just read the label, know the different ingredients that are in it. And if it doesn't have a lot of those chemicals or additives, then that's going to be a little bit safer for your body, and you're not getting these excess ingredients that are possibly robbing your body of hydration. So this just highlights too that if you're looking to enhance the water, instead of buying extra and paying more for these liquid and water enhancers, you can use the fruit flavor that you really enjoy and put that into your water. Okay, so something else that has been created is carbonated or sparkling water, which is, there's different varieties: mineral water, club soda, seltzer, and tonic water. They're all different varieties, but they are infused with carbon dioxide. That's what gives us that carbonated flavor and everything. I'm going to kind of skip forward. So this goes into mineral water, naturally carbonated, different minerals. Club soda, what is club soda? And then this goes into seltzer. The seltzer doesn't contain any added minerals. Tonic water, it's more of a bitter taste, does contain minerals and other things that you can see. So, okay, so this goes into pros and cons. So this one I'll bring up. So I personally love seltzer water, but it is one of those things because it is carbonated. Like I don't feel like I need to drink a lot of it. And I do kind of, even though there's no added sugar, I don't drink a lot of it. But again, because it is, I do feel so full after I drink it. So this shows the different pros of the carbonated sparkling water: calorie-free, sugar-free, doesn't have all that added sugar like you have in soda. It does help to keep you hydrated. It could potentially help you to reach where you're looking to get your daily water intake to. It can mask hunger cues, which isn't always a pro, because you do want to make sure that you are getting the proper nutrition in your food. It could help with digestion, and it does not have effect on your bone mineral density like you do have with the soda. So a con, sometimes you can get a buildup of gas. Sometimes the carbonic acid can damage your tooth enamel and possibly affect a tooth structural integrity. So you probably have to drink a lot of it a day. So it's one of those things that you can just look at as adding it to your routine of how to up your intake of water if you're finding it challenging how to incorporate water into your day. Okay, so electrolytes. So what are electrolytes? We hear this, these are in water. These are minerals in the body that have an electric charge. They are vital to key functions in the body. Electrolytes are sodium, calcium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, and magnesium. They do a lot of benefits. They provide hydration by balancing amount of water in the body, balance the body's pH level and blood pressure, moves fluid inside, outside, and between cells, move nutrients into and waste out of cells. It helps rebuild damaged tissue. They also make sure nerves, muscles, the heart, and the brain work correctly. You get electrolytes from food and fluids you take in. So electrolyte levels are really important to be in balance. And if they get out of balance, that's when your body can become dehydrated or actually overhydrated. So it's kind of figuring out that good in between. So we have sports drinks, such as name brands would be like Gatorade, Powerade, all these things. So some better options, because a lot of these have a lot of sugar added into it and actually not as many electrolytes as you think would be in there, which is why we're drinking them. So some better options that have more electrolytes, less sugar, would be coconut water, potassium or magnesium rich foods that you'd have with a glass of water. So that would be some of these potassium or magnesium rich foods. You can see some examples here. Bananas, so a half of an avocado. So those are two really high ones in potassium, which are such an important electrolyte that our body needs. Watermelon is another really high one. Pumpkin seeds and spinach all give you the different potassium, magnesium electrolytes that our body helps our body to function well. So this information blew my mind when I learned this. So again, we are constantly having these advertisements of these sports drinks to help keep us hydrated, but you would have to drink 4.5. So the bottles that you can see there, 4.5 bottles of a sports drink to get a similar number of electrolytes contained in just one banana. One banana has the same amount of electrolytes that would be in 4.5. that's just wild to me. So it's just incredible that like the food, there's different foods and just regular water that just are so important, that are so simple that we can incorporate instead of buying these extra things and spending more money on a drink that doesn't have as many nutrients as our body really needs. So this shows that this has in 34 grams of added sugar and artificial flavors and colors in the Gatorade. Okay. So this is talking about caffeinated beverages. I'm going to kind of skip ahead because we're starting to get to the end. So this goes through potential benefits, potential problems that can lead to it. But again, this is one of those things that it's like finding your happy median, that you can still incorporate these things, you know, if you're okay to be drinking caffeinated beverages, of course, and just not over drinking them and replacing them with the water that we're typically supposed to be taking in every day. So that goes through some of the benefits, potential problems. I'll just kind of keep that up a second to read through. Caffeine, as we mentioned before, is a diuretic, so that can rob the fluids from your body. So that's just a really important reason why we're not supposed to drink so much of it. And caffeine can have some other side effects, such as increased heart rate, anxiety, disturbed sleeping, can cause a brief increase in blood pressure. But it also has some of those benefits like increased alertness, memory and mental functioning, and improved athletic performance. Okay. So we are getting to the end. I don't want to go too much over. So I will just briefly go over this. So just kind of in summary, that drinking water is such an important part because it does help keep our muscles hydrated and flexible. If our muscles are dehydrated, they don't move as easily, they don't function as well as what if they would if they were hydrated. So when we're moving our bodies, our muscles continually contract or they shorten to produce that movement. So in order to keep those muscles from getting too short or too stiff, we have to stretch our muscles, and that's water is what helps us to keep our muscles stretched, flexible, and to keep working hard. So this just goes through some tips of how to stretch, just kind of incorporating all pieces into your health, not just with the drinking, kind of looking at your movement, your lifestyle, all that kind of thing, how you integrate all these. So there's just a little recipe. So just kind of, it's called Celebration Soda. So it's something you can make yourself. So they call this one of their lean start beverages from the program that I was in. So you would take 8 ounces of a bottle of sparkling water, and then you would just take a tablespoon of 100% fruit juice, and you could add that in. Or instead of the fruit juice, you could just squeeze some lemon, some lime, anything that you really like into it. All right. We did go over a lot of things. This is just kind of the review. Water is an essential nutrient, both for adults and growing kids. It helps prevent constipation. It cleans our body. It keeps our muscles moving. It keeps our brain functioning, firing very properly. It helps reduce overeating. And then it reviews again what the recommendation is. So I do always like to end a session with the goal setting or any information. So think about something that maybe in this presentation, it doesn't even have to be in the presentation, that you would like to be able to achieve, whether that's this week, next month, tomorrow, anything that maybe you want to. So you can be looking at that lean kind of acronym, which is lifestyle, how you live, exercise, how you move, attitude, how you think, and nutrition, how you eat. So creating a goal maybe centered around one of those things. You can write it down. You can share it in the comments if you're comfortable. And then you can use the group to help keep you accountable if you have a buddy to check in with, to discuss that goal with. And of course, if there's any questions, I am always here to answer them, whether it's through Facebook or I can leave my contact information, and you can always feel free to reach out because I know it was a lot of information. So if you have further questions, I would love to discuss that with you. So I'm going to get out of the presentation. All right. Let me start my camera. There we go.
There you are. That was awesome information. So
it's so much information, but I tried to condense it a little bit.
No, but there were a lot of things that I learned that I didn't really know. So I especially did not know that many sugary drinks versus the banana. How much electrolytes? Because I know my kids, you know, when they're going to football practice or whatever, like they want to grab a Gatorade, and they do take water too, but they always take like a Gatorade and water, or they'll put Gatorade in their water and kind of like mix it. So it's crazy to think that they could just drink the water and eat a banana and have their electrolytes replenished. So that was really, really huge for me. The other thing for me personally, and you guys can share in the chat, like what was something new that you learned, or what was something that Emily affirmed that you already do. I know Allison Tenalia drinks tons of water. So I'm sure that's all she drinks is water. She always has her water with her. So I'm sure she gets her water intake, but I know I myself most likely do not get my full water intake. So that is definitely an area where I personally probably need to work a little bit on getting my water. And then also, I don't drink soda at all, but I do drink unsweetened iced tea. And there is some caffeine in there. So just, you know, hearing some of the things with caffeine and what that can do to your body too. So it's just so interesting how much of an effect water really does have on our whole overall health and all the different organs that it has to do with. You know, I mean, of course we think kidney function, but it really plays an even bigger role. So you are just such a wealth of information. And I just want to give Emily a little plug. I know that she said if you have any questions, to reach out to her. But if you have questions about anything on a health journey, you know, think about that LEAN acronym: lifestyle, attitude, nutrition. What was the E?
Exercise. How you move.
Yeah, how you move. She can really help you with any of those things with as a health coach. So it is such a blessing to have a health coach right here in our group. So you can reach out to her with any questions. And I hope that if you took some time to do a little masking while Emily was going through her presentation, that you feel all hydrated. Because hydration is a really important thing, especially coming out of summer. You know, a lot of people think I need to hydrate my skin in the winter because everything's so dry. But the sun causes dehydration of water content in the skin as well. So it's really important that you are hydrating that skin to give it that nice, healthy glow. So that's my little skincare plug there.
Absolutely. No, it's all connected. You know, there's all these things that will piece it all together, you know, so that what helps is like when you keeping your body hydrated, your fluids up, that's going to elevate the products you're putting on your body and help you reach whatever your skincare goals are. So it's all interconnected and really important.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Emily, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. And I have exciting news before we hop off. Tomorrow night, right here at 8:30 in the Social Rescue Group or on YouTube, we are doing a holiday launch. So our new holiday line, which a lot of those products are limited edition. So make sure you don't miss that tomorrow night, because once they launch, then when they're gone, and you don't want to miss out because there's some awesome things coming. So we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 8:30. Bye, everybody.